Welcome, guys, to the Everyday Educator podcast, where we explore together what it means to learn as a family all along this homeschooling journey. Now, look, whether you are just embarking on your homeschool journey or whether you've been on the road for a while, we think that you're going to enjoy visiting with us today. We're going to learn something all together. But I want you to remember that although our online community is awesome, you're going to find even more support in a local classical conversations community. So go to classicalconversations.com and find a community near you today. I am Lisa Bailey, and I'm happy to be the host of this episode with you this afternoon. I've got two great guests. I've got Ginny Tran and Alicia Clark, and I'm going to get them to introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about their family and where they are along the journey. I am lapping my journey, okay? My husband and I had two wonderful girls that we homeschooled all the way through. They graduated through the Challenge 4 program with CC and are now making new foundations families. And so I have three grandchildren and one on the way, one of whom is almost ready for foundations. So I have a lot of joy in fixing the mistakes I made with my guinea pig girls and getting a new look at what it could mean to go through all this material again. But Alicia and Jenny are still in the thick of the first time around. So I'm going to let them tell you about their families. Alicia, why don't you tell us about yours first?
Sure. My husband and I have been homeschooling. I'm starting to lose track, Lisa. I think it's
for a while.
For a while. I think we're in our 12th year.
All right.
We have three children, boys who are 16 and 14. So we're in Challenge 2 and Challenge 1 because of where their ages fall. And then our daughter is 9 years old and in her first year of Essentials. So my kids have grown up in CC. We've done CC all the way through, and it's such a joy to be in this stage where we're just seeing more and more of the fruit of the past years. That's a whole lot of fun. I've had different roles across the years, have directed a couple of different levels, and yeah, that's a little bit about us. We're in Durham, North Carolina as well.
Okay, so you have some wisdom to share, and what you have seen a few holiday seasons come and go, and a few
Yes.
New Year's begin, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, guys. Jenny, tell us about your family.
Yeah, I was trying to count my years in my head too. I think we're on year 6 or 7. My oldest Banks is 11, so he's in his second year of Essentials. And then I have a 9-year-old, and she is in her first year of Essentials, a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and then we have a little 9-month-old as well. So we're just all over foundations and all the Obesitarian, Apprentice, Masters, you name it. I've got it right now.
Living in the foundations years. Those are fun years. I look forward. I really do look forward to doing it. I'm hoping that my daughter lets me be involved when Gideon gets to foundations, because I am looking forward to reliving the wonder of those years through his eyes. But today we are specifically going to talk about New Year, new beginnings. I don't know. I'm going to ask you guys how you feel, but I know that I relish a fresh start after I go into the holiday season really cranked up and joyful, and because I love the holidays. But I tell you what, by the end of the season, I'm ready for a reset. I'm ready for a fresh start. So I kind of want to hear how each of you feels about the post-holiday blahs, like if it infects your family at all. Jenny, Alicia, I'd love to hear, because you're laughing about that, like you know what this is. So I would love to hear what you say. Do y'all have post-holiday blahs at your house?
Absolutely. I think there's just so much anticipation in the Advent season and celebrating Christmas. And we have so many traditions that are dear to all of the people in our family. And so I think once it's finally over, there is a little bit of a letdown, and you're kind of like, oh, now what? But I'm really thankful. My husband works at our church, and thankfully our church staff gets that whole week off. And so my husband is off that week right after Christmas, before New Year's. And I just feel like it's really good for all of us to take a breather. We, in some years past, might take like a day or two to travel somewhere like nearby. But on the whole, we just kind of chill out at home and rest, try to clean some, try to regroup. And try to get some good quiet time with the Lord, just to kind of reset and prepare our hearts for the year ahead. And I should say, we also celebrate our wedding anniversary that week. So that gives us one more little thing to look forward to right after Christmas.
Yep. Have you found, do your kids experience a letdown when Christmas Day has passed and all the big visiting is over? Do your kids experience a letdown, and is it the same at every age and stage?
That's a really great question. I don't know. That's I would say that it gets a little bit different. I think I feel like mine probably experienced more of a letdown when they were younger. I'm curious to see what Ginny says about that. But I feel like and yet at the same time, like, we enjoy giving good gifts at Christmas. And so they have some new things to play with and some new hobbies or some new, I don't know, they really enjoy just having total chill time, not much on our schedule, and being able to just enjoy those new things. And then we look for opportunities to get together with friends. And so it's not all bad. Like I kind of enjoy that little week.
It's not all bad. A reset does not have to be bad. So Jenny, what is it like at your house? Are you a letdown? Do you have the blahs at your house, or are all your kids just still hyped up on stocking candy and new toys?
No, we're a bit different. We really don't experience the blahs, or at least I don't think we do. I mean, one of the beauties of homeschooling is that we can take December to slow down, especially because our CC year is over usually right before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
There's one year we had it like the week after Thanksgiving, but my kids know when CC's, when week 12 is done, we hit that mark.
Right.
We go into what we call Christmas school. So it's just a lot less work. We sleep in a little bit, and so they're all excited about that. But I think we do so much. We do a lot. Don't get me wrong. We have a lot, like Alicia said. We have a ton of traditions that my kids absolutely love. And especially this year, we're trying to do all the fun things. We actually have someone living with us from Belgium. So we really want to show her lots of fun American Christmas things. And we're learning a lot about her culture too.
Yeah.
But our cup is so full from family time together and all these new experiences that even after Christmas, we try to keep our kids looking to the next fun family thing. So even after Christmas Day, after that, we have another Christmas with my mom and her family. And then after that, we have a Christmas with all my cousins. And then they know in April, we go to family camp with Young Life. So we try to keep them looking ahead like, we had a great time, but guess what? There is so much more.
There's another great time.
I totally agree.
So I feel like they keep getting excited because we do talk a lot, like, and I think we'll talk about this later, but we really try to keep the goals out in the open. What are our goals this year? What do we want to accomplish? And so they get excited. They know what we're working towards, even if it is, saving money to go to family camp or whatever it is that we're trying to do. So I don't really feel the blahs. I do feel blahs in February. So I'm glad we're having this now, because if you ask me in February, we're like, week 18 or so. It's like, can we just get through this, please? So maybe that's when our blahs come.
That's the winter doldrums for sure.
Yes.
I think that you are so right. February was a hard month to slog through because there's not anything super close. Yes, we're looking to the next thing, but the next thing's a little far off, and it's just cold and it's gray, and we're not done yet, and we're not even close to being done yet. And so, I know what you mean. For me at our house, I love to decorate. So the holidays, the house just looks like a Hallmark card, sort of. I mean, it's just, I like holiday decorating, but I'm kind of ready to pare down and the house looks kind of empty when it's done, but it feels restful somehow. It feels cleared up. My eyes aren't you know, uh, seeing something exciting every time I open them. It's just restful somehow. Are there special things as you guys, take down holiday decor or just kind of reset from all the, maybe special eating and special visits and special decorations? Are there certain things that you reserve for the post-holiday time or decorations or food or even activities? Are there certain things that your family has grown to expect after the holidays that make that still a richly anticipated time? Alicia, what about you?
Well, I mentioned earlier our anniversary is right after
Yes.
Christmas. And so we, whether it's just a date night out or for us, or like a few years ago, we took the kids to the Outer Banks. Like we too like to have to some kind of something to look forward to. I love how Jenny mentioned that
Right.
too. Like, and quite
Yes.
often part of our Christmas gifts are experiences. And so
Oh,
that gives,
great.
whether it's right after Christmas or, in the next month or two to
Mhm.
combat those doldrums in January and February. So having something to look forward to is something we do. I wouldn't say that we have necessarily traditions other than we really like to take it easy. We like to rest. We relish
Yes.
in that. Like life is so busy with
Yes.
teenagers. Both
Yeah.
my boys are in basketball, and we will probably have games soon after Christmas. But I think those first few days, that first week between Christmas and New Year's,
Mhm.
is largely restful. And so that's our tradition then, is just to enjoy
Yeah.
resting, watching football, eating all the leftover treats that we still have.
Yeah.
Um, and like
Yeah.
I said, just looking ahead to intentionally and prayerfully anticipate the new year and what we feel like the Lord
Mhm.
has for us to focus on.
Mhm. Mhm. Jenny, does your family make New Year's resolutions?
I don't call them resolutions. I
Yes.
don't like the definition of resolution to me is just scary because
Yeah.
it's like so firm. You're going to do
Yeah.
this or you're not going to do this. And I like to give myself grace and flexibility in that. There was one year, this was probably before kids, but
Yeah.
I made a resolution to not eat chocolate for a whole year. And I love chocolate.
Oh, my word.
And I found myself in an instance where someone had made me something special and it had chocolate in it. And I had to make the choice. Do I stick to my resolution and not eat chocolate, or do I affirm my friend who made this for me? And I think since then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to set goals for myself.
There
I'm
you
going to call
go.
them goals.
There you go.
And we have goals in mind. So that's what I would say. We have goals
Yes.
that we make, and we make tinier goals knowing what the end goal is. For instance, my son Banks, he's in his second year of essentials. He has memory mastered. So this year, I don't know what the official term. He's going to triple crown or mega memory master. He's
Oh,
going to do
good
all
for
3 cycles.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is his goal.
Good.
Right.
But we have all these smaller goals to get up to that. So we'll kind of, after New Year's, once we start thinking CC again, it's going to be, okay, we have this goal. We did this last fall. What do we need to change or do now to hit that goal? So that's kind of where we
Yeah.
are with
Yeah.
resolutions.
Yeah. I think that's really smart. I know that's where my brain goes in that sometime in that week between Christmas and New Year's, I get in that space. The house gets all cleaned up and I feel like my brain gets cleared out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't so many shopping lists or baking lists or people are coming lists or things I got to remember to pick up. And it's just like the wind has swept through and it's a little bit clean and it's refreshing. I do the same thing, Jenny. I don't make resolutions anymore, but I am a big list maker and a big planner. And so I have all these lists of things that I'd like to accomplish in different um, areas, maybe for the home or mentally or physically or with my church or with my kids, even. And I just find that it's somehow comforting to have that resetting kind of space. Um, what about you, Alicia? Do you make resolutions, and if you do you get real specific with them, or are they just kind of general plans?
That's a great question. I am in a very similar vein as you two ladies. I tend to not make resolutions, but I definitely am a big goal setter. And I think this is just such a beautiful time for a reset, right?
Yes.
And I appreciate doing it for myself, just personally. I talk with my husband. We pray together about goals for our family. I certainly think through goals from each of my kids. And so definitely the big overarching goals, like mentally, what do these next 4 or 5 months look like, both in our curriculum, in our schedule, what's already on the plate, what do we, and again, just want to sit before the Lord and say, God, here's what our plans are. You're the one who directs our steps, though. Do we need to take something off the plate? Is there something that is that doesn't fit in this that we need to pull off? Or is there somewhere where we need to adjust? And I'll say too, I think part of that, getting in that mindset, is also being aware of where we have come so far in this academic year. So Lord, what have you done this past semester? Where have we grown? And I know we'll talk a little bit more about assessment maybe in a little bit, but kind of figuring out where we are, and therefore now where do we want to go in this next little season? And so, yes, I think big picture more than anything, but then with that, what are some small baby steps that we can start taking in the near future toward those goals?
Yeah. I love I have a good friend, and she hates that little space after the holidays cuz she likes to be busy and she likes the hustle and bustle. And then she said it just seems like a dead time. Nothing fun is happening and all the good stuff is past, and that makes me sad for her that she thinks of it that way. But also I really relish, like you guys do. Who knew that we were, such kindred spirits in that? I relish the time to just think, okay, like you said, Alicia, where have we come from? Let me have a space to reflect on what has been, and thank you, and stop and say, thank you, God, for, and name off the things that were expected or unexpected blessings. And sometimes I don't see the unexpected blessing until I have the reflection time and think, oh, wow, that totally went off the rails. And yet that may have been the biggest growth that we had all fall. And so thank you, Lord, for that. And then to look ahead at what might the rest of the winter and the spring be bringing us toward. To me, that's restful. And then I start to get excited about what the Lord might do. Jenny, let me ask you this. Are your kids going to be eager to go back? Because you said that y'all finish right before Thanksgiving. So that's a huge long break. Are Banks and the other kids ready to go back to community when it starts?
Oh, yes. They cannot wait to go back to see their friends. And it's not necessarily the work part of CC.
Notice I did not say, are they ready to start school again? But are they ready to go back to community?
Yeah, they're not ready for their normal, CC school routine days, but they're definitely ready to see their friends, see their tutors there, and get that community back. Because even though over the holidays we do have a lot more downtime, a lot less schoolwork to do, we still don't have that many play dates because it is family time. And I really cherish December for that. Not that we don't see friends or anything. We definitely see them at some events and things. But especially that week that you guys keep talking about between Christmas and New Year's, we take it slow, but we take it slow as a family, which is nice because my kids aren't in too many things right now. They're still pretty young.
Enjoy that season.
We had.
Love it, girl. Love it.
We did. My girls were in a play this Christmas, the best Christmas pageant ever. And their rehearsal schedule almost killed me. It's like every night from like 6:30 to 8:30, and then tech week is like 4 hours, and it's like, oh, this is what it's going to be like to have teenagers. Okay. Like, this is a lot.
Yes. Yes.
But we don't have any extracurriculars in December, which we're really, really thankful for. But they definitely love to go back to CC and see their friends.
Hey everyone, we want to interrupt the show to tell you about National Number Knockout and the national competition. So National Number Knockout is a nationwide mental math competition that transforms how students ages 10 to 14 think about mathematics, turning it from drill work into an exciting mental sport. Students use 3 dice and a 6x6 grid to create as many equations as possible in 60 seconds flat. And this is fantastic. I actually know one of the people who helped create this competition, and it is strategic and seriously addictive. Well, in the spring of 2027, 16 national finalists are going to compete aboard a Caribbean cruise for the grand prizes. So whether your student competes nationally or just practices at home, they're building lightning fast mental math skills and a genuine mathematical confidence that will live with them for the rest of their lives. This is really great. And the real win is not just knowing math facts, but watching your student fall in love with mathematics and see it as something exciting rather than just another subject to get through. So if you want to find parent resources, they are available right now. Just visit classicalconversations.com/N2K to learn more about the 2027 competition. We'll see you there.
Yeah. Yeah. Alicia, are your kids ready to go back after the break?
Very similar. I mean, they're excited to see friends, excited. I mean, truth be told, recess is one of their most favorite parts of the CC day, right? So they're thrilled to be back together with friends. But yeah, it's always a little bit hard getting back into the swing of things. And yet, even though they may grumble and fuss a little bit, I think everybody appreciates getting back into a regular rhythm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
What helps you? Alicia, what helps you motivate your children to embrace the going back to the routine and going back to the growth and the wrestling with ideas again in community with their buddies?
That is a great question. Honestly, I think the goal setting time right after Christmas is part of what motivates. And so we incorporate them into that too. So yes, I'm doing my own reflection, as a wife, as a mom, as a homeschool educator, but I want to also call them into that space of saying, okay, what went well this past semester and where are we going in this new semester? What are the big ticket items that we have ahead of us? Not just curriculum wise. I mean, certainly in challenge 2 and challenge 1, there are a lot of projects, there are a lot of rhetorical assignments. And so what do we have coming up for that? But then what do we have even outside of CC? What else is going on in our lives? What are we looking forward to? And then what's the Lord called us to? What is your role right where you are as a student, as a son, as a daughter, as a brother and sister? What has God given you to do? And just, I think, catching that big picture vision.
Yes.
I think, to me, it makes me excited about it. One of you said something about that earlier. And I think, I really think that's part of it. I would say too, and I suspect that this clicks more with those with older kids, because I can't imagine really doing this with my younger kids when they were younger. But I think also going to the why behind what we are doing and behind the decisions that we've made. Side note, if I can, there is an AR, an area representative with CC not my AR, but one kind of nearby over in Raleigh, Justin Nail, who has for the past number of years put on a challenge retreat for challenge students.
Yes.
It's kind of a best kept secret. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it out
loud. Well, that's okay. I have seen it other places because other folks want to emulate him.
They
so go ahead.
And it's it's excellent. But I think one of the things that caught my attention about it, because I heard about it for a few years before my boys went this past fall.
Oh, cool.
And what I kept hearing was, I think that part of what birthed the challenge retreat idea was that Justin Neal noticed that while we put so much emphasis on helping parents understand the model of classical
Why
education.
we're doing this.
A lot of students who are in the middle of it don't fully get it, and maybe don't even know what the trivium is or what the point of all of that is, and what we're aiming and what are the skills that we're working along, working to hone in every different stage. And anyway, so I think part of his heart in doing the challenge retreat was to help students understand why we're doing what we're doing. And my boys came away from the challenge retreat with a better understanding of that. And I've directed in our community for years. Like, they've heard me give all the little spiels, but it's still like started making more sense to them. And we've continued the conversation at home. And so I say that just to say, I think even as we look ahead at the next semester, being able to explain, okay, yes, it looks like a lot of work ahead of you. And sometimes that can feel overwhelming. Kind of like, I don't know, when I was in college, when you get that syllabus at the beginning of the semester,
yes. It's like,
it was the worst day because it just felt like this is too much. I can't do it. But if we take a step back and say, okay, but here's what the aim, here's the heart behind it. Here's what we're seeking to develop. Here's where you, I think, are ready to grow. Here's what you're already good at.
Yeah.
But here's one thing that you can work on for the next, month or so. I think that can help a lot in terms of motivating too, because it gives a purpose and a reason for why we're doing
some ownership. It gives them some ownership.
Yes,
they know what it is. So it's like, yes, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to own that, and I'm going to let it show through all these different assignments that I'm. And
I'm glad you said that, because I meant to say too, I also want to welcome really all three of my kids, but especially my older two, to dream also. And for them, I want to encourage them to pray and ask the Lord, where does he want you to focus in this next year? What's a goal that you might want to set in various parts of your life? Just calling them to that.
Oh, this is chock full of so much good stuff. And all I had to do was ask you how you motivate your kids. That's awesome. I am really glad that both of y'all have already talked a little bit about assessment and looking back at what went well. This is a great time. All the reset times are good for looking back, so that you can look forward with some kind of intentionality. But what I really love, Alicia, is that you brought in the whole idea of drawing your children into, especially as they get older, part of that assessment. Jenny, have you drawn Banks into that at all? Because I've met him before. He's a pretty mature 10-year-old. So.
Yeah, I actually even talk about it with my 5-year-old. We talk about our goals and where we want to be. And I let him say, hey, what do you want to be able to do? And he said, I want to read a book. That's a goal. And he wants to do that.
Absolutely.
So he might not know how to tell me how to get there. And I have to give him those little steps to get there. But I say, like, even today, we were trying to do some reading and he didn't really want to. And I'm kind of in that middle place. I don't make him do school every day because he's only 5. But I still will encourage it. And if he gets frustrated, I just let him know, like, buddy, this was you want to be able to read a book by the end of the year. So mommy's trying to help you get there. So reminding them of that. But I definitely let all of them have say in what they want to do. It was not my idea for Banks to try this mega memory master thing.
I was going to ask you, was that his idea? Yeah.
Yeah, it was his. I mean, we had heard about it. Of course, David used to work for CCI, so he knew about it, and we challenged him. There might have been a little, hey, if you do this, we might go on a special trip in there for some motivation.
Little carrot.
But he's the one, we said, you don't have to, but he said he really wanted to. He's already done Memory Master for all 3 cycles. So he's put that on himself. And I still, like, Alicia, when you were talking about the why, I can't wait till we get there.
Yes.
It's still really hard for him to understand the why. He can tell you, like, even his first year Memory Master, he was able to say, I just want to do this because I know it's good for me. And we did not coach him on that answer.
What a sweetheart. Yeah.
But now he's like, it's really hard to kind of get that. Why do you want to do this? And he might say, I don't know. I just want to do it. And we're okay with that.
Absolutely.
And so if he asks us, why do you think I should do it? We'll gladly help him figure out why, or maybe think through, because he is definitely a thinker. He has to process things very slowly. He wants to understand everything. So he really enjoys being a part of that process. My girls are very different.
Great.
They just want to get work done.
Right. And they're younger. They might come around to it also. I think it's awesome what you guys have said, bringing your children into your reflections and your assessments, because those are the things that really propel us into the new year and give us some material to work with. So as you set a new goal, or as your children set new goals, that kind of determines some of what you'll do in the new year, and maybe how soon you start doing it and how often. And it kind of will give shape to the next several months. And I don't know, my girls always liked having a new goal, something new to work on. You know what Anne Shirley used to say, I guess it was her
or Miss
teacher who
Stacy.
said, Miss Stacy, it's always new, fresh, with no mistakes. And
I thought of that too when we were preparing. Yes, I love that quote.
I love the start to the school year. I love January. I love the new year, new beginning thing. So I can reinvent myself, right? Or I can take up this same goal that I had in the fall and I didn't do too well, but now I know why, because I did some assessment. I know why I didn't do, so I'm ready to attack again. And the girls were the same way. It's like, okay, so I haven't messed this up yet, or I have all of these plans that, like you guys have said, will surely lead me at least in the right direction. If they don't deliver me to the doorstep of success, I'm moving in the right direction. And I like that. And I think it's good to bring kids of all different ages into part of that conversation. It's way easier to run alongside a pony that's going in the direction of the carrot than one that you're having to pull by the bridle. So I love that. What kind of, so we've talked a lot about academics. We've talked about, what projects might be coming up, what mock trial for those Challenge B students, or, the science research paper and the Triple Crown Memory Master. What kind of new beginnings do you guys promote as a family outside of academics? Alicia, I know that you've said, that you and your husband sit and you think about, what's the Lord teaching our family, or what is the Lord leading us to participate in? I'd like for you to both answer this, because I've been thinking about, how do we encourage our families to be balanced, right? Pursuing better, not just in academics, but in our spiritual lives and in our healthy bodies and with emotional health. How do we, if we're going to start out on New Year, new beginnings, how do we promote balance? How do we help our families consider what God, our growing edges in all of those areas? Alicia, why don't you go first?
That's a great question. And I feel like I'm still looking for the answer exactly to that.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of it, is that my gut reaction is you pray, you go to the Lord, right? We go to the Lord with this very need and say, Lord, we desire health in all of these corners of our lives. And again, that involves assessment, right? Like my 9-year-old has been going through some struggles with anxiety lately. And so that's one place we have been mentally. And so being aware of where we are right now can help inform, okay, Lord, what does it look like to move towards greater health in this? And I would say body-wise too, like my boys are both involved in sports. This is a season of physical exercise. So I'm very grateful for that. But being aware kind of where we are, mind, body, spirit, and then saying, Lord, where do we need to grow? And where would you where would you have us to focus? And again, calling our kids into those questions too. And I think on the same note as calling our kids to be a part of the conversation, I think it's also so good, just a great opportunity for us to talk to them about the holistic health of who we are, right? That we are not just minds, that God has given us a mind, a body, a heart. And he desires for all of it to be used to know him and to make him known, right?
Yes.
And so I think allowing that to inform some of our conversations, like even now we will begin talking about next summer as a family, and maybe what are some things that we could do as a family to serve the Lord together.
Right.
In years past, our family had the opportunity for 3 years in a row to go and serve at a Johnny and Friends family retreat, a camp for families impacted by disability. And it was priceless. It was such a rich experience on so many levels. We learned so much. And so I think looking for opportunities like that to experience something together as a family, and just grow in all of those aspects of our lives. I think that's really crucial.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I want to interrupt this show to tell you more about this semester's sponsor, Judson College. Judson College is such a perfect fit for CC students because they align with our Christian, classical, and community values. So as far as being Christian is concerned, Judson College equips students to give their lives for Christ's cause wherever he may call them, whether it's the marketplace or into official vocational ministry. As a confessional institution rooted in Scripture, the college is committed to providing theologically and biblically sound education, which is very important to you, we know. Well, they also have a vibrant community, and that plays a vital role in the students' education at Judson College. They have small class sizes, which allow professors to intentionally invest in students, but they also have a house system where the students are allowed to have competitions, vibrant community, and deep fellowship from freshman year to graduation. Lastly, Judson College does value classical thinking. They help develop critical thinkers and equip them to engage in the conversations around them. There's a great books course, which I think is really great, and it's integrated into every single one of their undergraduate degrees. So this provides a solid foundation in human ideas through primary texts, and they're all taught through a biblical worldview so that students don't just grow as scholars, they also grow as committed Christ followers. Find out what makes the Judson College experience different at judsoncollege.com/distinctions/. Let's get back to the show.
Jenny, what about you? What do you guys, I know your children are younger, so maybe you don't talk as much to them about, the balance between mind, body, and spirit. But what does your family do to promote good health in all of those areas?
Yeah, we certainly talk up to them. We're very open with our kids about a lot of things.
That's so great.
I love
we
that.
know what they can handle hearing, and we know what we call a suitcase issue is, and that's from Corrie ten Boom.
Yes. Too heavy for you to carry. Yes, I love that.
And so we know what they can hear and what we need to save for a later date. But I love everything Alicia just said. And she even was talking about, you look at already what's going on in your life. And I think that's really key. What has the Lord already put in your life that you can take advantage of and promote, body or physical or spiritual or serving or whatever it is that you want your family to do together. And it's even making me think now, like, what is it that we can hone in on as a family for this upcoming year?
Yeah.
And think through that. What's God already placed in your life that you can, just attach the train to and kind of chug along with him?
Yeah.
So often we think that all the plans are ours, and that we just get to design the whole package. And we forget, like you guys have said, to see what God is doing. That's our job, is to join the Lord where he's already working. That's where you get the most traction. So has God given one of your kids a great desire to serve in a certain way? Might that be something that could draw your family closer together? Or is there a challenge that one of your family members is facing, like greater anxiety? What can we all do to promote better mental and emotional health? And how can we look outward and see if there are other people in our paths that are struggling? I just think that the Lord calls us to wake up and look and listen to what's around us and not be stuck in our own heads all the time. He's speaking to us.
If I can add one thing to that, Lisa,
Yes.
I think too, yes, 100% yes. Like looking around, here's where we are. Where's the Lord already at work? And I think also part of this assessment and this, just looking at where we are is also being aware of what even little elements might be missing that we could add back in.
Yes.
And I don't mean that to be overwhelming to anybody.
Not at all.
But I just had this reminder of how we talk about how the foundations curriculum at CC is kind of a feast of information, right? And mastery is not mandated for everybody, right?
Absolutely.
Like it's appropriate at different ages. And when the kid really owns that, yes, 100% go for mastery at that point. But otherwise, like younger kids and families, just come enjoy the feast, right?
Yes.
You're going to glean so much from
at will.
And I love that image because I think that's what we also get to do just as homeschooling parents, right? What feast do I want to put before my kids? They may not, rave about a particular dish on the table and say, I want to learn to make this and make this for us every week. That's okay. I still want to give them a lot of opportunities to taste things because it's good for them, right? And so even in terms of thinking just of what does it look like to be a well-rounded individual? And, have we gone to an art museum or the symphony recently? Second semester is a wonderful opportunity to do that. Oftentimes we go with our communities to one or both of those places just because of what we're studying. So I think looking at what kind of feast can I restfully place before my family? I can't do it all. I can't present it all, but maybe there are some things within my reach that I can share with them.
Yeah. And it is it's inspiring a lot of times to find out what a little person is curious about.
Yes.
And to chase a little person's curiosity as a family can be so much fun. And they are curious about the oddest of things. I know my grandson is endlessly fascinated with dirt. I mean, if I had not already bought most of his Christmas presents, I would go in search of a bag of potting soil, and he would be happy for hours to transfer the dirt from one receptacle to the next. But he asked me a question the other day, Lolly, what is in this dirt? And I said, what do you mean, son? He said, this dirt sticks together in my hand, and this dirt runs through my fingers. And I thought, oh my word. Okay. So I thought, well, what is in this dirt? And that kind of curiosity could propel all kinds of conversations I'll just be really honest. I really don't care that much about dirt. Okay. But I care a lot about the relationship I have with Gideon. And so sometimes chasing curiosity with our family may give us knowledge that we don't care if we keep, but it will build relationships that we never want to let go of.
And I think it enhances awe, right? Like in those young years, I think that comes so naturally to kids to be in awe of something. And so I think any opportunity we can grab to encourage their awe and wonder at God's word that's time well spent.
It is time well spent. Okay. Believe it or not, we have well spent almost all of our time. And so I want to ask you before we go, since this is New Year, New Beginnings, I want to give you each a chance to give your best New Year's tip. Okay. It could be something silly, something that was passed down as family wisdom, or something that you learned by accident one year as you built a new beginning with your family? Ginny, what is your best New Year's tip?
Well, it's a New Year's tip. It's the one that came to my mind first, because we started off this episode talking about the blahs, right?
Yes.
And after the holidays, it can be blah.
Yes.
I heard this, I don't even remember where I first heard it from, but to focus on the get to instead of the have to.
Awesome.
And that can help chase the blahs away, because instead of thinking, oh, I have to take down my Christmas decorations, oh, it's such a chore. You know what? You get to take down what God's provided for you, and you get to, for me, I get to mop my floor underneath my Christmas tree, and that signifies something that is clean, you know?
Amen, sister.
And as we're assessing and reminding ourselves of our goals, we can think about the long term, but say, oh, I get to spend extra time with Banks this semester because he wants to memory master, and that's time that we spend together, because I still help him with that. So
I love that.
That's my best advice to help get through to the blahs.
All right. I'm going to write that down, the get to list,
that.
and I'm going to practice it. Alicia, what about you?
I think
best
that's
New
wonderful.
Year's tip.
I would say the one that comes first to my mind is being prepared for let me see how to put this. Being prepared that the actual fleshing out of those goals may look very different than you thought initially.
Oh, yes.
I'm reading through C.S. Lewis's The Silver Chair with my daughter right now, and I love when Aslan gives Jill the signs at the beginning. One of the things he also tells her is, he says, just be prepared that the signs may look very different than what you expect. And I think that is so true for our goals for the new year too. I tend to be pretty good at vision casting and setting goals, but my fleshing out of those things does not always go as I mean them to. And I can dwindle off after a few weeks, you know, but I think still having that goal in mind, that gives us an orientation. We have a direction that we're walking in, right? And often the fleshing out of that goal may look different than I expected. So I may not be getting up and spending an hour with my Bible first thing in my room every morning, but maybe I'm going out on a walk more frequently, and I'm speaking with the Lord and listening to his word on an app or something. So it just may look different than I expected, and that's okay. I can commit my goals, kind of like loaves and fishes. A friend of mine reminded me of this just today. I can commit my goals to the Lord just like loaves and fishes and say, Lord, would you take this and multiply and use them how you desire?
Yes. That is so wise, to hold loosely what the fleshing out of your goal might look like. And the Lord may change it, or he may give you a better incarnation than you could ever have designed for yourself. That's a fitting reminder.
And then you can begin again. Each day fresh with no mistakes, right?
Each day fresh with no mistakes. That is also a great thing to remember in the new year, new beginnings. Well, guys, that's a wrap today. I know, listeners, that you have been encouraged. If you have been so encouraged that you want to pass us on to a friend, please do that. Make that recommendation. Leave us a word, leave us a review. That's how we know that we're hitting the mark with you. And hey, if you have questions or you have things you'd like somebody else to weigh in on, send that our way. We get our best ideas from you, our listeners. And remember, whatever you do, remember that the heart of classical home education is not about checking a box, even a New Year's goal box. It's about cultivating wisdom and virtue and wonder with your own family. So you go and cultivate a little wonder today, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.